Why does it feel like everyone on the internet agrees with you? Every headline you click confirms what you already think. Every video the algorithm feeds you nods along with your politics, your diet, your worldview. That's not a coincidence. It's not even really the algorithm's fault. There's something older than the internet running the show here. Something wired directly into your skull. Your brain has a cheat code. It uses it every single day without asking your permission. It saves you time. It protects your ego. And it might be the single biggest reason we can't seem to agree on anything anymore. Psychologists call it confirmation bias. And once you see it, you can't stop seeing it. Here's the uncomfortable part. We like to think of ourselves as scientists, weighing evidence fairly before reaching a conclusion. We're not. We're lawyers, and we've already decided who's guilty. We're just building the case. We gather the evidence that agrees with us, and we quietly file away everything that doesn't. No trial, no cross-examination. Case closed before it even opened. And this isn't some new disease of the smartphone age. Back in 1620, philosopher Francis Bacon wrote that the human mind, once it adopts an opinion, draws all things else to support and agree with it. 400 years later, we've just given it a much faster delivery system. So let's meet the detective who caught our brain red-handed. 1960. Psychologist Peter Wason invents a deceptively simple game. He shows people 3 numbers, 2, 4, 6. Your job? Figure out the hidden rule. You can test it by proposing your own 3 numbers, and Wason will just say yes or no. Most people jump straight to a guess. It's counting up by 2. Makes sense. So they test it. 8, 10, 12. Yes, they cheer. 20, 22, 24. Yes again. By now they're feeling pretty smart. They announce the rule with total confidence. Wrong. The actual rule was just any 3 ascending numbers. 1, 2, 3 would have worked. So would 5, 50, 5,000. Here's what almost nobody tried. A sequence that could prove them wrong. Something like 10, 8, 6. If they'd tried that and gotten a yes, their whole theory would have collapsed instantly. But nobody wants to test for no. Wason put it perfectly. We have a strong preference for the confirmatory instance over the potentially falsifying one. We don't hunt for the truth. We hunt for validation. And once we find it, we stop looking. That single experiment cracked open 3 separate habits your brain runs on autopilot. Let's break each one down. Habit 1. Biased seeking. Picture a library with 2 aisles. One is stacked with books that confirm what you already believe. The other might challenge it. Guess which aisle gets all the foot traffic? A skeptic doesn't search, is astrology real? They search, why astrology is fake. They already picked their aisle before they typed a single letter. Habit 2. Biased interpretation. Same evidence, 2 completely different readings. One person sees growth. The other sees collapse coming. Same headline, same words. Their beliefs decided the meaning before their eyes even finished reading it. Researchers Lord Ross and Lepper proved this back in 1979. They gave 2 groups, one for and one against the death penalty, the exact same mixed research. Both groups walked away more convinced of their original opinion. The same facts pushed them further apart, not closer together. Habit 3. Biased memory. Your brain doesn't record events like a video camera. It edits. Remember the one time your gut feeling was right about a sports team? Funny how the 10 times it was wrong just quietly disappeared. Seek, interpret, remember. 3 filters working together around the clock to protect one thing. The story you've already decided is true. Here's the thing though. This isn't a design flaw. It's a feature. 10,000 years ago, agreeing fast with your tribe kept you alive. Doubting the group over some rustling in the bushes could get you killed, or worse, kicked out. Being wrong alone in the wilderness was far more dangerous than being wrong together. So your brain evolved to prioritize social harmony and speed over cold, slow, accurate truth. That software is still running. The problem is, we swapped the campfire for a smartphone, and the tribe got a lot bigger, a lot louder, and a lot easier to disagree with. Enter the echo chamber. A 2015 study on Facebook found people were far more likely to see and click on posts that already matched their politics. Not because someone forced them to. Partly the algorithm, sure, but partly just them, choosing their own aisle in the library every single day. Two people start out with a mild disagreement. A year of scrolling later, they're not just disagreeing anymore. They're living in what feel like two different realities. Same country, same news cycle, completely different set of facts. Now here's the part that should genuinely worry you. You'd think smarter people would be immune to this. More facts, more reasoning power, less bias, right? Wrong. Research on politically engaged, highly educated people found the opposite. The smarter someone is, the better they are at building sophisticated, airtight justifications for beliefs they'd already decided to keep. Intelligence doesn't turn off the bias. It just gives it better lawyers. Nobel-winning psychologist Daniel Kahneman put it bluntly. We're not built to seek truth. We're built to win arguments. That's the cheat code. It doesn't care if you're right. It cares if you feel right. And here's the twist that breaks people's brains the first time they hear it. Correcting someone with facts can backfire. A 2010 study found that when people who believed misinformation about weapons of mass destruction were shown a clear correction, some became even more certain of the false belief. Facts don't just fail to land sometimes. They can strengthen the very wall they were trying to knock down. Because admitting you were wrong isn't just updating information. It feels like losing a piece of who you are. And here's the cruelest joke of all. We can spot this bias instantly in everyone except ourselves. Psychologists call it the bias blind spot. You just watched 40 examples of confirmation bias, and some part of your brain is already thinking, yeah, but not me. That thought, right there. That's the bias, working exactly as designed. So is there an off switch? Not exactly, but there's an override. And it starts with one deceptively simple habit: actively hunting for the evidence that would prove you wrong. Psychologists call this steel manning. Before you knock down someone's argument, build the strongest possible version of it first. If it still falls apart after that, your position just got a whole lot more solid. And if it doesn't, well, now you've actually learnt something. Keep a running log, even a mental one, of evidence for and against your big beliefs. Not to torture yourself, just to catch the moment your brain quietly starts filing things in the wrong drawer. None of this makes the bias disappear. It's not a bug you can patch out. It's baked into the hardware. But awareness turns an invisible filter into a visible one, and a visible bias is a bias you can finally question. So let's recap the case file. Your brain seeks out evidence that agrees with it. It interprets ambiguous facts to match what it already believes, and it quietly edits your memory to keep the story consistent. 3 habits, 1 goal: protecting a belief you already have, whether or not it's true. Here's the real question worth sitting with. Next time you feel completely certain about something, ask yourself what evidence would actually change your mind. If you can't think of a single answer that's not conviction, that's the cheat code, running exactly as designed. Mu, Idrissen Bayala the Tinenent Mend, Book.